and then I'm gonna tweet stuff out. I'm gonna do a little dance with my head. All right, we're good. Okay, so Dave sent us an email about expectations for art for Pack the Pack because there's been miscommunication in terms of what was required when. I had one set of assumptions, and Dave had another, and I think maybe Meg and Dan may have had another. But let's just go through them point by point. So let's pull up what's going on. I'm hearing someone's YouTube in my ear holes. So let's pull up David's email. One sec. Sorry, hold on. Okay, so Dave pointed out a few things. Going into this week is that we were going to have 6 additional characters completed and paid for after the successful funding of the Kickstarter. So we're going to need to underline that because that is not the assumption I was going into. The 10 5th edition versions of the characters are stretch goal for the game. They would be completed and funded when that tier was reached. I think we're all in agreement on that the additional versions of the characters are not until we hit that stretch goal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The backer character art stuff, which is something David had suggested, which we thought was cool to bring in. The character names, custom items, custom RPG party, you know, the 5-page comic, we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's separate that out. The custom items and party and stuff like that seemed, at least to my mind, a little bit too much, but we wanted to include some level of customization, so that was put as a separate reward tier. I'm not sure whether... I don't recall ever having any discussion with David about including that as a reward tier beyond his email to us suggesting it.
Which one?
The idea of taking a backer's character and creating it in the Pack the Pack art style.
It was email that I sent to you.
Okay. I mean...
Yeah, I talked to Meg about that.
Okay. I am on board with the idea. I think it's great. I think we leave it with the reward status that it is. I just don't know where that happened. The rest of the stuff, character names, custom items, custom RPG party art, I'm not entirely sure as to what that is supposed to entail, but it doesn't look like any movement was made on any of those 3 things. Do you guys want to talk about what those might be more?
Oh,
no, we decided
well, I had...
Sorry, speak again.
I thought we decided just to pick one.
So are we settled that on the you submit to it, you pledge at a certain level, and then we pay David to make your character look like a Pack the Pack character, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And we leave it at that, nothing else.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So in my
the email.
No, go ahead, David.
It's okay. In the email, I included because I had sent those other options in the invoice, and I just sent them along, partially because of the comic, which you cleared up with me. That sounds fine.
Okay.
But also just so that I said this is what I said, and this is what I just wanted to be clear.
No, that's totally fine. I think part of the problem with of the miscommunication is that you sent us a quote for... Part of the problem is you.
Yeah.
Part of the problem is that you sent us a quote with a lot of stuff in it, and we failed to get back to you with a clear answer on what we would like and what we wouldn't like. So I don't think that you've made any missteps at all in here. It's just we've been unresponsive to you, and so I'm sorry for if that has caused you to change the schedule or create more work for us or for yourself than was intended by anyone here. I hope that's something that I hope that that's a meaningful apology. So I think we can move on to some of the other stuff. Before we move on to any of the extra goals or any of the extra art, let's just clear out that there's 10 characters. What we have now is great.
Yeah.
Whether they are colored or not, we are moving forward. As soon as they are colored and done, we will pay you for all of them.
Okay.
It is not contingent on successful funding of the project.
No.
Right?
Correct.
So are we all clear in that understanding?
Absolutely.
At
Very
the
much
bare
so.
minimum, David is finishing and coloring 10 characters for us. We are paying him for those characters in accordance to the quotes that he gave us.
Yes.
Okay. So we're all on board with that. The extra work, things like souped up versions of the characters,
Right.
or
That's
leveled up versions of the characters, however we want to talk about them, that's contingent on stretch goal being met. Right?
yes.
Yep.
Okay. The back to town grabbers, it was my understanding that I was just going to kind of be remixing some of the art that you gave us with some numbers.
It's more. They need to be numbers more than art.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of them as unique new illustrations, which is why I hadn't brought that to you. But again, kind of a discussion that I should have invited you to be a part of.
Sure.
Okay,
And
so don't...
If you want any like fancy numbers, I can draw you some fancy numbers. I will just throw them at you. So.
No. I don't want free work from you. I don't
for
like...
a beer at Gen Con?
Nope. I don't want to buy
Okay.
I have $0. I cannot buy you a beer at Gen Con.
You know that I'm going to buy you a beer regardless.
No, it's just bad business. I don't want that ever to be. I don't want that ever to be the relationship that we have. Okay, so what were the other things? So the grabbers, that's kind of settled. The additional loot art, there was. I think that I have a misunderstanding about that, and also it was poorly phrased in the Kickstarter the way it is now. What I feel like I intended to say in that Kickstarter was that each color set would have a different variation. So like the red ones would be like kind of orcish, and the green ones would be kind of elvish. And I kind of thought that is something that we had started on.
No, we decided not to do that.
All right, so then let's just take that out completely.
As it confuses the game. We had that initially, and it was like, holy crap, this is like so much to look at.
Yes, and I think this is not necessarily something for discussion right now, but the differences between styles in our initial attempt at that are very dramatic. And there might be a middle ground, but let's discuss that later on in the process. Okay, comic book stuff, which is a not insignificant undertaking. David had initially suggested something like a 5-page comic. Right?
Right.
Okay. So nothing ever gets printed in 5 pages.
Correct.
So everything needs to be in multiples of 4, and in order to fit into the box, again, because I'm structuring this project largely egotistically in my own mind, I'm thinking of like what's going to fit in a box, and a regular size comic book wouldn't fit in that box, so I just immediately went to Archie Digest size.
Oh, sure.
Which is like a half-size comic, but then rotated 90 degrees. So, but again, a discussion that should have been had specifically with you. So, I think if we are going to hit that goal, the way that I had baked that goal, the way that I had baked that project into our goal, was to have money to kind of burn on it, right? Like, we can talk about like what you had initially quoted us for a 5-page comic is in the ballpark of what I'm thinking, and I feel that I don't know a really great way to say this. I feel like we would, if we were in that situation, be overpaying you for what we would be asking you to do, which would basically be to create a. I don't know exactly the way to parse this, but if you were to take a 12-page digest comic is really a 10-page digest comic, because the front and back covers are usually not. There's an illustration on the front cover, but the back cover is usually advertisement or promotional material or something like that. So we only have X number of pages that are being illustrated. Each of those pages is half the size of a normal comic book page. The quotes that you had given us on a 5-page comic I was completely happy with that. In fact, I thought that was a little bit of a lowball. So I didn't think it was going to be a huge. I didn't think it was going to be an issue, and that's my fault.
Oh, well, see, when I saw there was a 12-page comic, I didn't understand the format difference. So I was like, oh, that is over twice what I said.
Yeah.
And like, it's okay if you pay me over twice what I asked. That's great, but understanding the size differences, that's cool. When I said 5 pages, I was just thinking it would be like a fun PDF we could send to backers.
Yeah. Well, even your quote for a 5-page document, for a 5-page comic, at the point at which we would be adding a 12-page comic, if that were to be broken into a page-by-page price, I would still be comfortable with that price.
Like, assuming that now it's almost half the size?
No. I mean, I guess it could go either way. I'm kind of hedging my bet a little bit here. I would like to see something of enough length to tell a story, which I think that you need like 8 or 10 pages to really do. And I think that the price that David had quoted us was good for that. In fact, if there were added complexity to that project, like if there were an extra round of revisions beyond what had been initially budgeted, I'd be willing to expand the budget to accommodate that. You know, because I'm trying to think of it potentially like, what if it's great? Like, what if we put this comic? What if people like the game? We put this comic in. It's a lot of fun, and all of a sudden, it's the next Rat Queens.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I don't. This discussion is kind of you can't go very far with it without having the idea of the content, because we're discussing specs for something we don't even know what it is yet.
Okay, so what would be the proper course of action to have a good discussion on this?
So I would recommend that it's because if we're gonna put it into the the Kickstarter, I think we actually have to have an actual creative discussion of what it's gonna be. So because you can't, I don't know that you can gauge the price of something without having the idea of what the actual story is going to be.
Okay, so let's put a pin in that and come back to discuss it after we go through the rest of these items, because I think it's something that could be a really cool addition to the world that Meg has kind of created.
Totally agree. Love the idea.
I really want to move forward with that, but obviously only if the resources are there to do it.
Right.
Okay, so, okay. And then what was the... Oh, let me get back to the email. The race to town standees we dealt with, the custom color items we decided are off the table, 12-page comic, which we just talked about. Okay, so where do we stand now?
Okay, so right now I have all of the characters lined up or inked. I have flatted all of the characters so they have their base colors without any rendering on them, and I'm just in the process of rendering them. So the burglar is complete. Space Cat Princess is almost there. Next up, who was I going to work on next? It was going to be it was going to either be the cleric or the brute, So, what time frame do you want those characters finished in?
So it's my understanding, and Megan, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, that what we have now, which is inks for all of the characters, is sufficient for us to launch the Kickstarter.
Absolutely, and we can reveal them as the Kickstarter goes along.
That's true.
Yeah.
This is kind of where I wanted to be, but again, because I did a poor job communicating it to everybody, because I live in my own fucking head. Yeah, I think that we're at where we want to be.
It'll have to be done to launch.
Yeah, especially if we can kind of tease them out over the next few days. Yeah. That's good to keep people. That's good to keep people interested in the product. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you were looking for inks mostly just to put like the little profiles in the rule book, right?
They're already up on the Pack the Pack site.
Right, but for the rule book, like you just had empty little circles. I think that's the first thing you right.
But that doesn't need. Again, that doesn't need to go out until after the Kickstarter's done.
That doesn't need to go out until you ship it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, it does not have to be done to.
Okay. All right. So, David, do you feel like you understand the expectations better now, and that they are treating you fairly?
Yeah, my internet actually horribly glitched up right as you were replying to that, so I missed most of it. But from the end of it, it sounds like just get them done as they get done. The important stuff has already gotten in your hands.
Yeah,
exactly. We need 5 variations of each character, all in color by tomorrow. I'm glad that you agree.
Okay. It sounds great. Would you like them in holographs? Because I can do holographs. It'll be a slightly extra fee.
But the charge to shove them firmly up Glenn's ass, that comes for free.
No, I have hemorrhoids. You don't want to do that.
No, that's why I for pack the blank.
That's packing.
It's more like blank the blank. That's what's happening there.
All right, that sounds no, that sounds great.
Okay, so you are spending time here when you could be spending time coloring in those drawings. Also, did everybody see the line drawings that David sent over before?
Yeah.
Do we have any concerns about any of the characters, the way they look?
Did you forward Dan and I's comments to David?
Which ones?
When you sent us line drawings.
I remember, Meg, you talking about the brute being more Rifts-y.
Yep.
And I communicated that, and then the brute that is up now is definitely more Rifts-y, but not so much that it, as Dave pointed out, to sci-fi it up so much that it impinges upon the joke of the Space Cat Princess. I think that it struck a really good balance to that. The Dragon Tamer is definitely more Weasley-ish, but because somewhere along the line he got his second arm back, because that was not the initial description of the character. So maybe that's something that we revisit over the course of the next month, but is definitely not critical right now at all. But he looks like a fucking weirdo ginger, like you had initially assumed that he would be. And also, seriously, go on the site. You can click through the gallery. Yeah. The brute looks like a big, weird, half-ogre juicer
Yeah.
kind of thing. And even I put that kind of in the description that it's like a character kind of addicted to strength potions and like kind of give it a little bit of a fantasy vibe. So yeah, but so all throughout this process, actually, I've been really excited about the comic because as I'm thinking up stupid names and Dave has been kicking back this art, like I see the group and I see their process and I see the kind of stories that you could make out of that, like how like the NPC is someone who is the entry into this world who is hired on to just carry shit and is like trying to scam them all or something. And I don't know. I think there's a lot of really good stories that could come out of it, and I really like to see us hit that Kickstarter goal.
Yeah. My initial pitch to you guys was Slash the Pack, where I would take two characters and just draw the safest but most disturbing romance between them. And I was really hoping that the dwarf would get in there somewhere because he looks like a cuddler.
I'm gonna veto that.
But with what I'm thinking might be a better use of resources would be to tell that kind of the story right before, which is these guys beat up the dragon and end the comic right at they are standing over the loot and they are about to pack their packs.
I mean, I think that that's a great introduction to what could potentially be an ongoing, online comic or something like that, which is really kind of the expectation level that maybe we should have about it. Obviously, the idea of a comic that leads directly into the game that you are then playing is right on the nose. I think that'd be cool. It's, the characters have personality. In the way that we've conceived them, but also in the way that you have executed their design. And I'm really happy with the way that all of them look. And if anybody would like to say otherwise,
I love it.
Speak up now.
Nope, I love them.
No, it's been great.
All right. Were there any other art notes specific, or can we kick David off of this and talk? I guess he's gone. And talk more. Oh shit, he's back.
No.
I was gonna say item number 2, screwing David over completely.
No. While I have you guys, I just want to go over some character color things because I made a choice with the brute that is a little. Well, here you can see on my screen. She is really red. And so if that's cool with you guys, it's cool with me. But if you would like her to be any other tone, let me know.
I like the red because I like the idea of I saw the brute as I think it would be easy to take the brute and say, oh, this is an ogre, or this is a goblin, not a goblin, or this is an orc, and make it something big and green.
Green, yeah.
And I like the idea of making it red. I don't know if the combination of the red skin tone and the red, piping is a good mix. I would actually probably want something more distinct there. And if you're going to go with red, I think there needs to be a little bit more contrast in the clothing and the shield and the piping, although not necessarily so much the hair. I think you get away with like a red to brown hair, because just to highlight what parts are natural to that species and what parts are not natural to that species.
Sure.
Because, right, Meg, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is supposed to be like a drug addict.
Yeah. Yeah,
like a roid raging orc.
That's exactly what it
better. I
is.
like that.
Yeah, I like the red skin though, but I'm totally
Yeah.
with you. Like, yeah, that's awesome.
I think can you screen share, say something so I can see the screen again?
But you can just click on them.
You can click on.
Oh shit! Does that work?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I've been doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would even like, I would even like more of a wood color on the club and like more steelishness on the helmets that are part of the club. Because I think, oh yeah, the green is the kind of the yellowish green is really perfect.
Oh yeah, it's Venom.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly, exactly. It's like Orc Bane.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, fucking dead on. And maybe some more tusks or something. I
love it.
I think the Brute looks great. There's like some weird kind of sci-fi-ishness going on with the shield, but you still know it's a shield.
Yep.
But
Well,
there's
that's-
also something else going on. I think that's super solid.
Yeah, that was the thing, is that, like, when I was trying to think, like, she needs to be sci-fi enough to be sci-fi, but fantasy enough to not be as sci-fi as the sci-fi. I was like, oh, Masters of the Universe. So
Yeah, exactly. Like the kind of shit that like mind flayers would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
No, it's dead on. I don't. We had some back and forth about like the cleric, but even that, I've been watching a lot of The Wire, and basically the cleric in my mind is the character of Cuddy from The Wire.
oh yeah.
The guy who teaches boxing after being a soldier in the drug army.
His nose looks orange.
Oh,
All the characters are kind of like that. It's
Yeah.
not racist, is the point.
If you look close, his
I love that.
his knuckles say "pack the pack."
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I noticed that on the.
Yeah, I like so the stuff that I had initially sent Dave was pictures of Mr. T from Rocky 2, like Clubber Lang mid-shaft kind of thing. The idea behind the character is that he was like a street tough who then gave up his violent ways to join the clergy, but then took up his violent ways again.
And then here's the Dragon Tamer.
So the black dragon in the middle, I might change to something with a little bit more contrast than because it's kind of hard to tell what parts of the body are whose on Skink.
That's fair, yeah.
I also think like the black cloak that maybe he's wearing, like, dude, he loves dragons, so that shit's got to be green,
Okay, that's fine.
right?
Yeah,
Like
so then if it's green, then the black dragon could stay a black dragon, because then there would be contrast.
exactly. Like something more forest emerald, not sea foam, but more of a brighter green. Yeah, even that is getting there. I would like to see it.
I like that because it's so like shit colored.
Oh,
like
jeez.
green shit.
Oh, God.
I think that one of the notes that I had initially sent you was about like how this dude is completely and totally obsessed with dragons. Like he wants dragon earrings, dragon fucking. He has like dragon pendants. Like it
Yeah.
should be dragons under. Like his cloak should have dragon inlaid gold filigree on it. Like he has
sure,
a
yeah, I can
fucking
do that.
dragon problem.
Or he just it's like dragons forever or something like that written on it.
Like overkill. Like yeah.
Yeah.
I suggested dragon poop because it's kind of like a dragon cat lady.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so when I was like coming up with names, I try and like name the characters in a way that gets to the heart of what the character is, and it's like this is a person who, if society wouldn't judge him, would totally be fucking dragons all the time.
NPC came out pretty good. He's, nondescript, but that's what an NPC is.
Yeah, I would like lighter clothing, darker bag.
Oh, sure, I can spot that.
The banding on the chest should be brighter, more like a portmanteau. something where you have like a brass and a dark leather, and then maybe even like a dark leather pack, and that way you can put her in a lighter. And I don't know. I've always cast Humps Carries a Lot as a lady. So
the name is suggestive.
It doesn't have to be.
Because Humps Carries a Lot has always been like the really awkward teen intern, so I drew a little.
That's true, because we had a teen intern who's really awkward.
I can see. Well, here's a question. Do you, in your mind, is YOLO Burglefoot male or female?
I think it's perfect.
Honestly, that is the correct answer.
Yes, like that. Like, you know, ask that question again and just say yes.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, okay. I think that especially now that I'm seeing the colors on it.
Yeah.
I'm 100% there.
There's a hint of breath, but maybe not. I think it's great.
I think that you can take that character either way. It's not like Brute where you had to make like a. It's not like the Brute where you had to make a. You really need to make that choice.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be clear. I've always envisioned the NPC as female. It doesn't have to be. It could be someone non-binary. Like I really want the panoply of these characters to be as inclusive as possible, both in gender and racial makeup.
That's one of the reasons why I really like this one is because.
There goes Meg. Can't hear Meg.
Aww,
Meg saying something smart.
She was singing my praises too.
Womp womp. No, I love YOLO Burglefoot. I think that it kind of reminds me of Ong Bak the Thai Warrior. Like, it has kind of like a Southeast Asian vibe to it that I really dig. So, yeah, solid. Dude, I will always vote in favor of like indeterminate gender identity.
Okay, and then for Nefertiti, Rob Justice played Hell for Leather. I played Hell for Leather with him one time, and he had a character who was a biker demon succubus whose name was Nefertiti's, and so from then on, the name Nefertiti has always been.
I think you should just refer to it as Star Whiskers from this point on.
Yes, Star Whiskers Duclaw.
One thing I would change about this is that I would make the potion orbs in the gun a different color than her hair.
Okay, that's fair.
It doesn't draw enough contrast.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So my thought, if you're going to change the potions in the gun, is to have it be one of the colors that we have, just so it's clear that it's a potion. Because I love it in the gun, but just so it's clear that it's actually a potion.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I don't mind the magenta at all. I think the magenta is great for hair, because I think I emailed you a thing where I was like, you know, it's like one part Lum Space Princess and one part, you know, this and that and the other thing. But you need to distinguish the weaponry from the character. And I guess the only other point on this character that is giving me any concern is the chest area. It blends a lot with the collar, and I don't necessarily want to see it like where it's, let's highlight those boobs a lot. I just feel like maybe there could be a color alteration going on there, but maybe not. I mean, if it doesn't work, it's not a make or break thing at all. I think what you've got here is super solid once you change out the potions in that gun. I think you could be all set. But if you want to give it a shot, that'd be great.
So once I drew her, I realized that what I had done is taken my FemShep from Mass Effect and mashed it up with my character in City of Heroes.
That's perfect,
dude. I was about to say that this is like my FemShep character.
Yeah, no, that's great. I want it to be FemShep. Oh, actually, sorry. One more thing. Can you show me the eyes in blue as opposed to magenta? Like a cerulean or almost a sky blue.
Wait, the what's in blue?
The eyes on the helmet.
Oh, the eyes on the helmet. Yeah. Oh, I was like, her eyes aren't shown the color.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. All right, one sec. I left my...
And the reasoning being that if you're going to put armor on a character, the armor needs to be differentiated enough to be thematically different from the structure of the character. And right now, the color palettes are very similar, and I just would like to see them more differentiated.
Oh, geez. Well, that's a weird effect.
No, even with the green, I think that's...
I like green.
Yeah, I think the green is solid, and then, you know, you change those potions over to, like, yellow or blue, and I think you have a character that clashes in a really fun and interesting way with the rest of them.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, I think that's everybody. So yeah, I'll just keep on keeping on.
Cool.
I just reached to move the color thing on your screen.
Dancing things, and I can't hear them. Womp womp.
Oh, no, I was saying I was clicking. I was trying to click around green because I know Photoshop too, and I was like, oh right, it's not my Photoshop.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's definitely getting there. You know, I'm not 100% certain on the green. I think if the eyes are green, then the potion should not be. But whatever you feel like, you know.
It'll look better when it's rendered, because the gun's still flat, the potions are still flat. It'll look good.
Yeah, but exactly. The idea that you have a space cat princess who is basically from Mass Effect in a game that is basically Dragon Age, but also Tetris, I think is I think is right on the money. So yeah.
It's so GURPS. It's so GURPS.
All right. So David, did you have any other questions about our contract? Or what our agreement to provide art? Is there anything else you need clarity on?
Not in the short term. Just so you guys know, when we start, if folks take back at the character art level, I'm going to try and get those out fast. I'm not expecting to be paid, or at least I'll try and get like the first couple of them out so that people can see, oh, look, I put in this, I got this, and I'll send them to you. It's at your discretion when you send those out. But I think that it would be nice to send something out during the life of the Kickstarter to as sort of like a little advertisement. I don't know. If you don't want to do that, that's cool.
I would frankly rather have you working on things that are core to the product. If you do have, we've capped the number of character arts at 20, right, Meg?
Yeah, that's what David said. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what we do at that point is if people want to pursue that, there's going to be some back and forth dialogue with them. We're not going to be able to get started on any specific date because we're going to need to wait to see when people buy it. So I wouldn't race to get any of that out.
Okay.
And you know, Dan and I can fast track any kind of printing resources that we need, if we even go that route.
Okay.
So
if there's anything, this was just a dumb idea that I had, but a thought occurred that you could send a custom version of Pack the Pack with the Acquisitions Incorporated characters out to PA Megacorp up in Seattle?
Nope.
Okay.
No. It's not a bad idea. It immediately raises about like 9 red flags for me.
Okay, that's fine.
There are people that I could talk to about getting it to them, and that might be a really good idea, so I'd like to talk to you about that offline. But we would need to I would need to contract you for other work, specifically to make that promotion happen.
Sure, that's fine.
I just don't have the scope for that right now.
Okay. Then,
No, but it is like, I see where you're going. It is actually a quite good idea, but also they would come down on us like a fucking ton of bricks.
Yeah. Then the last thing would just be, once the Kickstarter is over and funded 5,000%, what is the do you guys have a production schedule from there for like when you'll start needing art to meet printing goal dates and things like that?
Well, so right now, for instance, if we were to hit no stretch goals, once we get the finished colors on all of the characters, we can go directly to print.
Okay.
So I don't think that it will take 30 plus days to color and final ink 6 characters.
Yeah, no.
Unless you're trying to tell me otherwise. So at the minimum, that we're go on that. When it comes the situation that we really begin to have an issue would be if we were to add a comic, right?
Okay.
Because that's just going to take time. The good part is that if we get to that situation, it's because we've raised a certain amount of money, and that would obviously be part of this deal.
That wouldn't hinder the. Well, you're talking about including the comic inside the game?
I would really like to include the comic inside the game.
Okay.
Like, that is not a make or break for me, but it would be so much better if it did.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And even if it were the case that it wasn't in the box but was in the same shipping container, would be equally acceptable.
Okay.
Right? So like, I know if you sent me a
Right.
12-page comic, I could get 1,000 copies of it printed within 5 days.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's that can be done.
That's the thing, is like we could get it printed
here in
locally.
the States while the other thing's being printed.
Exactly. So that's why I'm not super worried about that
Right.
coming up. But the run up to that, like, I think what do we have that pegged at now? Hold on, let me check out this project. Right
Yeah,
now we've got that comic pegged at
a lot. 50,000. Of all those, we really need to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever the case may be, there's going to be at least 3 to 4 weeks of advance notice on it.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind developing a fiction for this game beforehand that we could then adapt into a comic.
Yes.
Dan,
definitely.
that seems like something that's right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, it does.
That might be great to have just for promotional purposes. And then we could adapt it into a comic and then maybe go from there. So why don't we say that?
Okay.
I have gone back in and adjusted Meg's adjustments to give us plenty of time to get the product out. So, like I said, 5 days to make a comic is basically all that I would need once is all the art is done. So I think we should be in a good space.
Okay. Then I think I'm good to go, and I'll have that art to you quick, but not as quick as I thought that it was going to be.
Yeah,
which is
and
better.
I'm really sorry for the miscommunication on that, and that's all me. I'm used to working immediately with artists who are literally in the same room as me, and so it was unfair of me to have that expectation of you.
Sure. Have you guys have you ever heard of a thing called Trello?
No,
No.
well,
Okay.
I haven't.
This is just, I'm just bringing this up because it's something that we've started using at the video game company I work at. It's a free online organizational platform. What's basically you just make like little cards, and then you pin things on, and you can make like little tasks that you write up. The most important part about it is that it's just sort of this thing that's sitting there, and you can put everything you have to do, and then everybody who's a part of the Trello could always see everything that's going on all the time.
Yeah, it's like Basecamp.
It's like Agile.
Yeah, it's like those things.
Yeah, it's actually so. I had a job for a week, and then I quit the job. And while I was at that job for a week, there was a shit ton of things that I saw that I really want to incorporate into this. A thing like Basecamp or what you're describing is one of my key focuses.
Yeah, it's really, really useful. And
yeah.
So, yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna get going. So,
all right, cool.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I don't know how you want to work forward on invoicing the art, but if you want to just send us a bill for the work, I'd be happy to just PayPal you the money for it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll shoot you a PayPal invoice in a little bit.
All right, cool.
So, all right. Thanks, man.
Get the fuck out of here. We got a meeting to do.
All right, bye.
Yep. Hold on. So, Glenn.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Glenn, so just quickly. So you quit UNH already?
Yeah, quit it on Sunday. It was a job that I was spending an hour and 45 minutes driving to that netted me $200 a week.
Wow.
I would rather be $200 poorer and not suicidal than yeah. And the reason that it was so, they're doing things that are better than anything I've ever done in my life. Of like, hey, you know what? People with disabilities, they should have equality. Like, that is the fucking most noble thing I've ever heard of in my life. The idea of being a part of that was tremendously powerful, but also wanting to die after I drive for 4 hours a day and sit in front of a computer and then like don't have the use of my hands. I mean, there's so much going into it, but it was such a good job if I lived an hour closer. Anyway.
Understood.
So.
Sorry to hear that. That sucks.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it could work. And they even offered to make accommodations. They were great. They were really good. It just, sometimes it's just not in the cards.
Okay.
Anyway.
Business!
So let's talk about Meg. You wanted to change the price to $32. Please tell me why you wanted to do that.
Yeah, I'm curious as well.
Because I thought we had to really have the MSRP set, so that's good to know that we don't.
No, why would we need to have that set?
Because everybody else does, so I'm just going by what I see.
Okay. So you had, in the email you sent, you said that I guess the impetus of your notion was on the feedback that you had gotten from another designer who can totally remain nameless. What was their feedback?
It wasn't just feedback. It was looking at
feedback, or was an example?
It was looking at other designers' Kickstarters too.
Like what Kickstarters, for example?
So Amberden Affair was one I was looking at.
So the thing about Amberden Affair that I immediately question is their Kickstarter is not selling their game, it's selling an event.
Yeah, but their game is on their Kickstarter.
Yeah, it is.
So I was ignoring the event and just looking at the game.
Yeah. So well, bring it forward. Like, why? Let's talk about each of the points and discuss whether they're reasonable. Not to be disparaging. Sorry. Let's talk about what the correct choices, what the appropriate choices for us are at each of these junctures.
I think it was more of I really can't see the end price at above 35, and I feel like the Kickstarter price has to be a deal, which I only sort of agree with, but that's, I think, sort of the perception.
Okay. So I think that we've seen some feedback about that, about the $35 price. We personally talked about it being $35 versus $30. I think a final MSRP of $50, of $40 is completely reasonable for the weight and depth of the product that we're creating. In response to, like, say, Marcus's email, where he was giving you example upon example upon example of games that are priced less than what we're doing. When I responded back to that, I showed how the quotes that he was providing were actually not what the actual MSRP is.
Yeah, I know that. Like, I responded to his too and said, actually, the one that I look at most closely is Quirkle, because it's about the exact same material and almost the same number of those materials.
Yeah, that's not a bad comparison. I would argue that. Yeah, I would argue that your game has a little bit more strategic depth.
Right, but Quirkle, the base price of it, when you forget the discounts, is $35.
It is $35, but it's also a game that's been around for a while. Yep. It may not have started at $35, and it may have a print run that's much higher than what we have.
Yes, they do.
Okay. So it is definitely a balancing act. Like, dude, I will drive the price as low as fucking possible, because my goal in this is to flood the market with our designs. So, like, I want them to be as affordable as possible. I think that, you remember you said you were talking to Max and he was seeing this game at like $50. Like, knocking $10 off that is
he
not... He
didn't really hear about the game.
Sorry, say again?
But I didn't really get a chance to talk to him about what the game was. He was more speaking generically, as
played it.
It's okay to have $50 games.
Yeah, like, let's think of comparable games. So, Quirkle, obviously, but as we've already discussed, like, Pack to Pack has more depth to it than Quirkle might. It's not a completely abstract game. Like, how much is a Blockus set?
Oh, good question. I think it's like $30.
And again, Blockus is a game that has thousands of prints of it out, so they're able to. I mean, they're capable of making that happen. Whoop. Oops, sorry.
Man, actually, you know what? Blockus still retails at damn near $40 on Amazon.
Really?
And yeah, it doesn't nearly have the fucking depth that Pack to Pack does.
What about that Tetris game?
About what?
Quirkle is $35. Let's see. Blockus is, I'm seeing it in places from 30 and up.
Is the internet just getting worse?
Well,
yes. Comcast.
Who needs net neutrality? So Tetris Link is like $31.50 or whatever the case may be. I don't think for a game where we have a limited print run, it's inappropriate to price it at $40. And then to have a Kickstarter at $35, which is the price of the game minus 10%, minus whatever percent, 12.5%, plus completely free domestic shipping. That's a really good cut.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, free shipping alone is a discount.
Yeah, the free shipping alone is a discount. And as we had previously discussed, we know that it is possible to do it at a $30 price point, but doing so kind of cuts our throat for future production.
Yeah, it does. That's why, like, 32, like, put us, like, dangerously close to the edge, but it was still almost possible. Not really, but almost.
You know, Meg, your math checks out. Like, I ran through it all, but I don't want to shave that close on this. I think that you can do it at 35. I think the product is really strong. I think the design is really good. The art is really good. It's a fun game. We've all played it. And if it doesn't, we've already talked about if it doesn't fly, what's our backup scenario? I don't want to undercut our first attempt yet. Right? Like, I can understand being trepidatious about it, but we've already like ratcheted this shit in a lot. I think you ratchet it in anymore and you start to endanger the
I can believe.
All right. So then let's just look at the thing though that
I completely agree, and I haven't done.
I go for it, Dan. I couldn't hear you.
God, we are so out of sync. It's unbelievable.
I mean, we already pulled it under 20 grand.
No, I was just basically, yeah, it is. Like I said, I haven't done the math, but I would totally pay $35 for this game, no problem. I know that's very subjective, I know, but I don't think a lot of people would have that problem either. I threw 30 down on a game recently that, like, I was only half as interested as Pack the Pack. I think I would be.
I have too.
Wow, whatever.
I put $30 on Kickstarter for games that I was like, maybe, but I put $30 down. All right, so then let's just look at the stretch goals, because I think the stretch goals are the things out of whack.
Okay, so I already went in and re-edited all the stuff because
I don't see any other stretch goals. Am I looking?
Not these stretch goals. So we have. Let's talk about the stretch goals. So $25,000 leveled up.
No, so let's put that at 20 because now we're below 20, so we need one at 20.
Okay. $20,000 leveled up. Advanced Pack 5th edition. Next version characters will receive new art by David to show off their powerful upgrades. What was David's price for making that actually happen?
$300.
Okay, then let's do that. That should be fun. I can say with a surety that is within the budget.
Yes.
Sorry, let me get back to this. Okay, so $35,000 Race to Town standees. So this is a completely new component into the game that is totally superfluous to what the game is that you don't need.
Right.
They're useful.
Do we want to? That's where we almost want to look at. Do we want to switch that with the comics? Since it sounds like we're almost more excited about the comic. You put the comic.
I'm listening, by the way. Sorry.
No, hold on. I'm just trying to do some math in my head of how much a $12 comic at a digest size for 1,000
Yeah,
issues
how much would
would
that cost?
cost? I guess at this point, what I would want to do is take the Race to Town standees and put it at 30, and the pack at 5.
I couldn't hear you. Put what at?
Take the standees and put them at 30.
Yeah.
Right? And then take the pack adventures and put it at 45.
I mean, like we're never gonna get to 45 though. That's
what are you gonna do? What do you think it should be?
So if we have something at 20, I think we need something at 25.
I don't.
And this could also be we just like don't. We could just unveil them as it goes.
Yeah, actually, and that was one of the feedbacks we got from Joe, who did the mining game, which is a very good game. I don't know if I agree with
I'm with you. Yeah.
I don't. I mean, if I try to think of it from a customer perspective, I kind of want to see what all the stretch goals are. But then again, does that make a rat's ass of a difference to what I'm...
What if we put the comic at 25 just for like a PDF and online, and then a print version at higher?
Okay, so hold on one second. Frankly, we don't have the type of purchasing levels that really matter. We have, you get the game, or you don't live in this country and you get the game, or you're a store and you get the game.
Yeah.
So let's think about, if people are really jonesing for stretch goals, let's say that you back the game for $35 or $40 or whatever. Is the point of the stretch goal to take that $35 or $40 pledge and up it? Or is the point of the stretch goal to just get more people to do $35, $40?
It's for them to find more people to get the $35 or $40 pledge.
So if that's the case, I don't know if like the Race to Town stuff helps accomplish that at all. Or even if the comic helps accomplish that at all. It's a different axiom of value. Like there's, on one hand you're getting more for your money because more people are getting it, so the price of the base set is driven down.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, you're getting more for your money because the value the value of each investor is much higher.
Yeah.
So you're all buying a more exclusive product. And an exclusive product would include more would include more bullshit, as opposed to a more efficient product, which is what attracting more backers is going for. Attracting more backers implies that you're creating a product that's more efficient in price. Attracting fewer high-quantity backers implies that you're creating a limited product of a higher value.
But creating exciting stretch goals could get backers to have word-of-mouth marketing for you.
It could, and I like to think that I know my marketing, but I am so fucking in the reeds at that standpoint that I don't know. Like, maybe that is some fucking roll the bones shit right there. Like, you're right. It might. But I don't know. I wouldn't make any decisions based on that.
I think that's what a lot of people have stretch goals for, is to try to get other people to get excited and help market it through that excitement.
Well then, okay, so let's back up again. What do we want? What do you want to be in this game?
I'm not sure, but I think going back to the excitement, it sounds like we were really interested in the comic side of it.
Well, Meg, let me tell you this. I'm going to sell you your game, right? So, Meg, you have this idea for Pack to Pack. it's a inventory management, gem matching, super puzzle fighter Tetris game. And if enough people like it, we're going to add a couple things to this. How do these sound? One, double the art for all the different characters. More flavor for all the different characters. How do you like that? Does that add to the game?
I like that a lot.
All right, cool. Maybe I think I'm going to add some more bits into the box that you can grab that make it a little bit quicker and more visceral to play. Do you like that?
I have to have that, but I could just write numbers on a piece of paper and do it myself.
All right.
Because that's what I've been doing.
I think those characters are really awesome. What if we made a really fun story about those characters?
I think that's sort of awesome.
Is that more awesome than the other things that I've described?
I think you need the other art to get excited about the characters for that.
Yeah, I agree. Because you need to see them as more than, like, one-dimensional characters.
But then I also think, like, here's why I was sort of like comic whatever, but you guys are almost talking way more into it. That could also, if it was really interesting, drive the game, too. Like, if it was cool, it could be like, hey, did you know there was a game about it?
It could, but the game needs to stand on its own.
Yeah, no, it could. But what I'm saying is, like, just, like almost anything. It could be that the story of it after the Kickstarter and everything is interesting enough that, hey, it now, like, then it makes you want to play the cleric even that much more because, like, he did a silly thing in the comic.
Okay, so what I'm looking at right now on the Kickstarter is $20,000 for new art for the powered upgrades for the Pack 5th Edition Advanced Max. $30,000 for adding the Race to Town guys to it, which I think that we can accomplish. We may need to add that at a certain point. $45,000 for the comic book, the 12-page comic book, which I think is completely non-critical but very fun and gives us a really good indication of a life of this product. And I'm really excited about it because it forecasts like a future for the product. And then $65,000 for upgrading the materials and just making the game generically prettier overall. I mean, is there anything else we want to inject in there? Is there anything that seems...
I'm still sort of angling for $25 the comic at print at online only, or PDF.
And online only?
Because there's so it wouldn't be print.
At that point, like...
Because I think 25 is potential. It's never going to go above 30. So all those are just like pie in the sky things.
I don't know about that. At 25, I'd rather just fucking do it.
That's what we did with Slash. Maybe we do. I mean, that's where, we might just fucking do it.
Like, I like the comic idea. We've developed these characters. They have a life beyond their image. Dan could easily whip something out.
But it's the printing. We have to figure out how much it costs to print.
Like, if you just want to fucking put it up online, let's reconsider and make that part of the marketing. Like...
Just like little vignettes.
Yeah,
like little stories, like what we were doing with Slash. Like, Dan, was doing, like, the little Slash stories as part of the marketing.
And if we have a marketing budget that we've only spent X amount of, if we take some of that and put it towards this, I'm comfortable with that. I think like the idea of starting a webcomic to sell a board game is like completely insane, but also really good idea.
You just like it because it's insane.
No, it is. It's like so fucking stupid, but also, yeah. Like I I so much don't want to have like a PDF comic book goal. Like, fuck that. I do not care at all about that. Like, I would just, if it is not something I can touch with my hands, I don't give a shit about what it's worth. I would rather have that just be part of the marketing and budget that into this process from the get-go. I don't think David is going to turn down an extra couple $100.
Again, I mean, we don't like. Well, I just think that there should be some sort of stretch goal of 25.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What'd you say, Dan?
She wants a stretch goal at 25.
Yep. No, I know. Okay, why don't we do this? I don't like hiding the stretch goal stuff, but we have a stretch goal of 20,000, and then we unveil the next stretch goals after that. It gives us a little bit more time to talk about it.
Sure.
All right, I'm going to take all the stretch goals out. The people who need to know know about it oops.
Just put the first, keep the first one and the last one. Like the 21 and then the upgrading the material to acrylic and put in the middle like to be determined.
I'll just put like question marks.
Yeah,
here.
I agree. Keep at least one or two of them up there because stretch goals do excite people to.
Yeah.
You know.
But we know, and we know the 20,001 because that was easy. The other versions of the characters, and we know that the acrylic material, just so people see that we've been thoughtful of that, and it's redonkulous.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to do that. My plan was to launch this at around 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. We have the video up. Dan, did you add a link to the Kickstarter at the across the bottom of the whole video on YouTube?
A link? What?
Yeah, so like a place where people could click and go give us money.
Oh, you know what? I have not done that yet, but that's because I edited a new version of the video with better sound.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So I literally just exported it before this. It's done. I also recut the long play, and it's done.
All right. Move all that stuff up in the morning. My plan is to launch at noon, between 11 and noon. And I'll get in touch with you guys about retweeting all of that stuff. Yeah.
All right, and I have the email press release written, the PDF press release, like all formatted, and I didn't write an actual open blog post. I can do that if you guys want to, but whatever. It's more like just like, hey, Kickstarter. So.
Yeah. That's fine.
And then I still need some places to contact Glenn. You're still going to send me some places?
Oh, shit. Okay, yes. Sorry. Yes, I will. Yeah. None of them are particularly time sensitive. We have purchased advertising on the podcast Agency Go.
Which, yes, that's right. That's awesome.
Theoretically go out next week.
Cool.
We had also purchased. So I'm sorry. Do we want to like get into other business, or do we want to keep talking about the Kickstarter stuff?
So we want to
We're
all clear. We're all okay with kickstarting tomorrow at 11 o'clock. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Again, I'm not going to be online until like 4.
Well, it doesn't matter. The fact is, you're okay with it going live tomorrow, right?
Frankly, the only thing that I was waiting for was the inclusion of children in the video.
Yeah, and they're cute.
Yep.
Yeah, that worked out pretty well.
The other feedback I feel like we've incorporated in. I was talking with my my huddle people this morning about. I don't know if you've seen the latest one. It has the kind of the graphic breakdown of like what the costs are, which is actually a really. My huddle mate Greg had suggested it. A really good way of discussing the why things cost what they cost. Which is really good. I added some text about like who we are and what we do. I fleshed out a little bit the rewards, not a lot, but just kind of what you get and where they're going. So I haven't had anybody tell me that like my grasp of the English language is completely retarded. So I feel pretty solid about launching tomorrow. What I want to make sure happens when we launch tomorrow is that we all, if you don't know, we now have a MailChimp and a Hootsuite account.
Woohoo!
So, what was the first one?
MailChimp.
What is that?
MailChimp is a way to do kind of HTML custom mailers.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's email marketing.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up the first shipping news tomorrow, which is stories of people who've been playing Slash, and then try and pull them into Pack the Pack. So that's going to go out tomorrow at some point, or I don't want to rush it, so it'll go out when it's done. But I'm definitely aiming for this week. And then, yeah, I've finished all the necessary Kickstarter redirects for the Pack the Pack site. We'll obviously put something up on the blog. The only thing that's outside of our direct control is like if at some point tomorrow at the end of the day when you have the opportunity, you can touch with the Cards Against Humanity people.
Yeah, that's on me. Yeah.
Calling that fucking shit.
Yep.
Because seriously.
Yeah. Seriously.
What's going on with other people's Kickstarter in that?
They've been tweeting it and then like tweeting the links to their Kickstarters. And but not just like, oh hey guys, look at this. Like, hey, this has been a really great game. You really need to check this out. So it's fairly encouraging. People have just put up their Kickstarters like in the last couple of days, so it's only been one tweet. I assume there's going to be more than that, but that was encouraging that like they put it up right away.
Well, if there isn't more than one, I would suggest that you create a schedule for yourself to remind them.
Yeah.
Like every 4 days, every 5 days, or something like that. Not Fridays. Fridays are the worst. But I would like to see
probably part of his community Twitter too, so that's good.
Yeah, they're just. So and the Pack X into Y, I really dig that. I want to see more stuff come out of that. So hopefully we can make that happen in the next month.
I think actually we may be receiving our first like 2 pictures tomorrow morning. Hopefully, actually, because someone was like, "I stuffed this ridiculous couch into this tiny car." I'm like, "Good enough, send it."
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be. It should be a low barrier to entry and a high reward for participation.
Yeah, totally.
We want to be like as they're going through their normal day, like, hey, wait, I'm packing something into something right now.
Yeah, and it's like why be dicks about it? Like it is related to the theme of what we're presenting, and there's no reason to like poo-poo other people's efforts. There's no compelling reason to poo-poo other people's efforts. Do we have any other? Oh, so when in regards to the 35-32 discussion, we're in agreement that at a certain point in this campaign, if it does not look as if it is going to get funded, we will shut down, wait, and restart.
Yeah, I just hate that. But
I would
So,
not like to do that either, but I think we kind of baked that into the design at the beginning.
So what is the contingency circumstances?
Well,
I mean, like like how many we have a hard set of days.
I think that the concern was that $35 was too much. And I think there's evidence of that concern because of the desire to reduce it even to 32. Like, we know that the math works at 30, but it becomes a non-profitable product for us to have. I just want to make sure that we have an agreement in place of, listen, if we get to week 3 and we're not trending towards success, that we shut it down and restart at 30 and see if that, makes it happen. Right? Because I guess what I'm asking is the problem that we're asking for too much money in total, or that we're asking for too much money per individual?
So, more in total, actually.
Well,
and there's not much you can do about that.
Yeah, that is kind of what it is. I mean, there's a certain amount of earned marketing that we can do that doesn't cost us money, but costs us money, like where we wouldn't be purchasing advertising or whatever, but would be spending the money of our time and effort.
Right.
And maybe that would help with the delay. And that's definitely like, okay, so in the B series, what we would do is we would drop to 30. We would see how much we have left of the marketing budget and apply that in ways that are less direct and more about influencing people. But I gotta be honest, I think we have this one shot at it. And I think the combination of, we're doing a little bit of marketing for it. We have a good product. We've presented it far better than many of the other products I see on Kickstarter. And we're going to have some backing from exceptionally notable people. I think this is our chance to make it work. And if not, then when? Right? Like,
yeah.
The game's not going to get cheaper.
No, it's not.
And it's not going to get better. I don't know. I don't mean to say that it's really disparaging, but it is a very good game. But unless you strip it down completely and build it again from the ground up,
right?
Like it is a goddamn good game, and it is worth the money that we are pricing it at, if not worth more than the money that we are pricing it at. Much the same with Slash. This is the argument I have with Discount Salmon. Like they're priced completely outside of what the value of the product is. We're not. And so if it doesn't go, and then if it doesn't go again, I don't know what kind of world we live in.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to launch tomorrow between 11 and 12. Right. What critically are we waiting on before I hit that button?
You need the updated video.
Okay.
The updated long play video.
Okay.
And I will take care of launching some of the other stuff. And that's what you need from me.
All right. Meg, do I need anything from you to launch this tomorrow morning? Tomorrow before lunch?
I don't think so. I just wanted to really go through and read it all again, but I think I've done it. Make sure you change the stretch goals, but
I've already changed them.
Oh, Meg, have you done that? Have you copy edited through it?
I think Glenn actually caught most of the things that I had I had caught a few things it still said 2 to 4 players. Like there were things like that, but I think most of those things were caught. Oh no, it isn't. It still says YE::: junk instead of yell.
No, it doesn't. I'm looking at it right now.
Gosh, I might be looking at old
Pay your
copy.
fucking cash. All right. I've question marked out the rest of the stretch goals and put them aside for revealing later. I'm trying to think of other things that we would need to do before we launch. The stuff with the rules, Meg, me and you have gone back and forth about whether like flushes and straights count double or it's 11 o'clock and I don't know if that's necessarily the time to go through it right now.
No, it's not.
But
yeah.
I think we're on the same page, but just speaking in text as opposed to in person. So
yeah,
I
think like some of the things there's some ways it's always been played that way, and it's just like as soon as you see it, it's so clear. But then there are still some things like figure out. But like the rules don't have to be done until it gets shipped anyway. So
yeah. So if you're looking at the Kickstarter now, the text that we have, hold on, I'll save it and I'll send you a preview. I would like you guys to read it over.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Oh, save it so I can tell me when it's saved and I'll refresh.
This is my preview link. What?
Yeah, but as soon as you hit save, then I should be able. I have the preview open.
Yeah, you just gotta clear your cache. This is the preview link. I would like you to read it over and let me know if there's glaring errors in it.
Mm-hmm. Why did you take out the draw one of the characters?
Why did I what with the what with the what?
Like the first line was take a character playmat tile, something like that.
Each player selects a character pack and places it face up in front of them.
Oh, that's in here, how to play. Okay, because I was looking at the top part, that's why.
Oh, no, the top part is just elevator pitch, you know.
Yeah, so there's some
kind of gets you to the action.
Got it. It doesn't really talk about the fact that there's 2 different ways to play.
Cool.
Do you think that should be stretched more?
No. I would like to sell the game based on its basics and then allow people to enjoy the discovery of it being deeper than they thought, rather than promising something deeper and then having them potentially be disappointed that it is not as strategic as they thought. Does that make sense?
No, that's dumb. That's bad marketing.
That's not. That's.
Yes, it is saying like, no, I don't want to tell people why it's cool. They have to figure it out.
No. What I'm saying is, I'd rather under-promise and over-deliver than over-promise and under-deliver. Because
but just saying that there's 2 different sides.
Yeah, and we do that because you can download the rules and you can see the different ways that it plays.
That's too much work.
But you're just trying to get people to buy into the product from the get-go.
Yeah. So get them to buy into the fact that they can play 2 different ways.
But that's not presented in any of the videos.
But it's not presented.
Okay, but it isn't presented at all.
So, but the videos are videos. The text is where to present it.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think the advanced playing and the different variations on scoring are additive to the core gameplay. What you're trying to sell with this is the core gameplay. Right? Like, you don't, like, D&D doesn't sell because there are wild mage sorcerers who are, like, specialized in druid magic. Like, it's sold because there is a warrior, a thief, a wizard, and a cleric. Like, if you can't sell the basics, you can't fucking sell the advanced.
But the fact that the gameplay has two different ways to play on the same card is a factor of the game, not necessarily a, crazy character option.
Yeah, I just think that we need to sell this Kickstarter on the fundamentals of the game.
Yeah, but this was like a fundamental of what's in the box. So why not just put that in like what you get? Like, it says double-sided player character sheets, but it doesn't say like what they are. I'm not saying go into it, but just mention it.
Yeah, no, okay. No, that's a good point. So where is it? Under the...
Just under what you get. I think that's probably a good place to put it.
What you get? 10 double-sided player character sheets. Whoops. Fucking edit button.
So that it doesn't really confuse the other just like description, but...
10 double-sided player character sheets with...
Did you say something?
I said 10 double-sided player character sheets with advanced rules and scoring for experienced packers.
But with double-sided, you need to
Wait, read it one more
what
time?
the two things are. So you need with basic and advanced.
10 double-sided player character sheets. One side
Yeah.
with the base game and advanced rules and scoring for experienced packers.
Perfect.
All right. I feel like that should be also included earlier in the sneaking it just into the what you get is probably not as much as it should be. Each player so I'm going to put under the and watch an example of play. And watch an example of play video found below is what we currently have. I'm going to underneath that put for advanced packers, their number, scoring, rules, strat of the game. How's that? Does that make sense?
Say it again. You cut it in and out, so I couldn't really hear you.
After the pack long play demo, it will say there'll be a line that says, for advanced packers, there are a number of variant scoring sets, scoring rule sets to deepen the strategy of the game.
Perfect.
Sure. And then, like, just, this isn't going to go anywhere, but the reason why I was saying, like, see website for variants or whatnot, when I was playing with the kids, I realized, like, a lot more of the tiles need to be face up, and that's a really easy way to just make it differently.
Yeah, that is. And also, when it comes to, like, the draft mode, I have a question about whether it should be 15 or 10 tiles.
That's why I said like it's so close, but I think 15 is too many. I was playing around with 10, and then I was like maybe it should be 12. It's between 10 and 12 though.
All right, cool. So
yeah.
well, we've got time to work on that. So
Exactly, but that's
as we have it now, we're good to go.
I think so.
No egregious spelling errors in my.
Oh, I gotta go through and I'm gonna go through and read the whole thing before I fall asleep. But,
Yeah, good. Do that so that you have fresh eyes on it.
Okay, I'll send you a new preview
I've
right
been
now.
staring at it for a while, and then
And then you guys tell me tomorrow, and then I would like to get together and have a barbecue in celebration of our second game. Also, I will be getting the entire Pack the Pack cast, if we successfully complete this Kickstarter, tattooed on my arm.
So can this have like should this have a little logo too for like the tattoo? Like
No,
has the whole, like
No, I love the way the characters look. I want them to be like a little party, like on my arm. I think that'd be great.
like right here.
So,
I'm thinking like right here, this area.
Meg, you should get half of them, and Glenn, you should get half of them, and so when you link up arms,
Then we do this,
like it's a
and then
party.
then together we would use our other hand to punch Dan in the face.
Oh, that's
That
awesome.
sounds great.
I think my favorite detail is
You
totally
know what? I'm sorry. So we actually have other shit to go over, so let's bang through that shit real quick.
Okay, hurry. It's like
So money.
Oh, yeah.
Where did I save this? We spent a bunch of money this past week. We sold out of everything we sent to the fan fiction convention. Goddamn big surprise. So that's good.
That's awesome. So wait, which one? Origins or the other one?
No. Origins, we didn't do so great.
Okay.
Origins, we sent them 12 and we sold 3.
Oh, stink.
Yeah, well, none of us were there, and it's
Right.
not a convention that fits into Slash's kind of wheelhouse.
So which one did it sell out?
Context, which is the convention of like 150 people, sold all of them out very quickly.
And how many?
I only sent them a case, but they emailed me back and they were like, if you had sent more, we would have sold it.
Wow.
So that was, it is more of a niche market. I think we're going to do really good at PortCon Maine next week.
So so it's this week, not next week.
Oh shit! Yeah. Jesus.
So go.
Yeah, it is. Friday.
But can you guys bring? Speaking of print things, can you bring something
Did
with
you
like
forget, Glenn?
starting?
I'm sorry. Hold on. One at a time. What?
I'll go. So can you bring something that's like, hey, we have a Kickstarter going on now. Here's the link.
Sure.
Like something to pass out, some sort of like flyer or something.
Yeah. we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'll put something together tomorrow.
Glenn, did you forget it was this week?
No, not so much. I just forgot what this week meant ontologically.
Okay.
We need to leave like dumb early on Friday, so just be aware. We're going to be
What is dumb early to you?
before 8 o'clock in Manchester.
That's fine. Whatever.
Because I'm in charge of a panel at 11.
Oh, geez. On Friday?
Yeah.
And Lily's coming with us. That's the deal.
Lily's coming with us right now. I think Brenda's on board for Saturday, and I'm trying to line up someone for Friday.
Cool.
So that should be fine. But yeah, she's going to help us. I was unable to get signage in time because I waited too long. So that sucks, but I think we'll be all right. I'm going to bring I'm thinking about 6 cases of the game.
You know what? I'll see if I can swing it. but Dyn just has like huge fucking printers lying around doing nothing. And
Cool, make some signage.
and I'll try to print some signage, but also I'm getting access to a 3D printer.
Great.
Nice.
For what? What are you going to 3D print? Just the word "dine"?
The internet?
You fucking people. Get a real job. Anyway,
He's gonna print an electric car.
Print an electric car.
Dan, we're netrunnering tomorrow, so I can destroy you again.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. Alright, cool.
Yeah,
all right,
that's all
so
I
that's
have.
it.
So,
That's what I got.
Well,
all right.
Have a good night.
see ya.
Bye.
Later.